Layu beachfront earmarked for development as an area of potential economic growth. Prime Minister Skerrit insists Liat service must improve in spite of its financial challenges. And the top tourism executive here says the impact of Tropical Storm Erika continues to affect visitor arrivals. I am Idona John Baptist with the Channel 5 News. Details after this. Welcome back to the Channel 5 News. First up, an area of potential economic growth in Layu will receive some major attention soon. The Layu beachfront, which will host the official opening ceremony of this year's independence celebrations, has been earmarked for enhancement works for some time now. Member of Parliament for the St. Joseph constituency says funding will be secured to develop the Layu beach on a phase-by-phase basis.
Well, the plans are still on the cards. In fact, there is already a design for that. We'll be hosting the opening of the independence celebrations on the Layu beach. So it will be an opportunity for all of Dominica to come down to the Layu beach and to witness the vast beaches there and to even go for a swim. And that will coincide with the Titiri Festival, and that will also be on the weekend of the 25th of September. So you have the beach, a number of opportunities there for the beach. One of the plans is to have a permanent stage built on the beach and to also incorporate some of the sporting activities like beach football, beach volleyball, and the likes. So that is being looked at, and we can rest assured that we will get the funding to do it in a phase basis and then to see how best we can get the residents of Layu themselves to boost up the economy activity that will take place on the beach.
Other lead stories. Tourism authorities are still reeling from the impact of Tropical Storm Erika, concluding that this is why the country may continue to see a drop in tourist arrivals. Storm Erika created a major setback to tourist arrivals in terms of damage to Douglas Charles Airport, causing airlines and Liat in particular to reduce flights to the country. Tourism Director and Head of the Discover Dominica Authority, Colin Piper, addressed the issue in a Channel 5 News interview.
Some information I have that indicates that up to 3 years after a natural disaster, a destination could suffer up to 30% reduction in tourist arrivals and visitor arrivals. And I sincerely hope that that's not going to be the case for Dominica. So against that backdrop and the backdrop of the fact that we were trending #1 during Tropical Storm Erika for all the wrong reasons, and that has left an indelible mark in people's psyche about what Dominica's product is, we've been working tirelessly from a public relations perspective to provide factual information to the press so that they can indeed report that we are recovering, that we're building back better.
Tourism Minister Robert Tong has said tourism authorities have been working diligently to bring more flights into the country, and as a result of that, there is 20% increase in flights to the island. Piper says Liat only fully resumed flights to pre-Erika levels as of the 1st of June.
So we were disadvantaged as it relates to access, number of seats coming into Dominica from the Caribbean. Some of the images of devastation may have been more deep-seated, particularly in our neighbors to the north and the south, the French West Indies, on whom we rely for a great number of visitor arrivals. The fact that we could not combat that specifically with the World Creole last year, where it helps with a lot of promotion, that has had a longer lasting effect than we anticipated. We have increased our activities in Guadeloupe and Martinique, but unfortunately we have not been able to turn that around.
Meantime, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has maintained that despite Liat's financial challenges, its service must improve. He acknowledges on DBS News this week the efforts of St. Vincent Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves to rally support for Liat. Gonsalves is the chairman of Liat's shareholder government.
The Prime Minister of St. Vincent has been at the forefront, really. Really, he has been the one pioneering the support for Liat over the last 12 years or so. I believe all of us in the Caribbean should have greatest admiration and gratitude to the Prime Minister of St. Vincent for his efforts. But this is a challenge which Liat and the Caribbean have been confronting with, the issue of service. Now, one accepts there can be a delayed flight, one accepts there can be a cancellation of flight, but we have to show better regard and respect to the consumer of the services LIAT offers. It's not because, well, that's the only flight we can get between Barbados and Dominica, or between Antigua and Dominica, or between St. Vincent and Barbados. One should just say, okay, well, you can't do it without us and treat you the way however they wish.
Mr. Skerritt considers LIAT's fares high-priced.
People are not flying on LIAT for free. We are paying. Every one of us who's traveling on LIAT pay, and I dare say a substantial fare for this, you know. So they have to respect the consumers, the customers. They have to show greater empathy to them when flights are cancelled or delayed. And there must be a greater sense of humanism in the way they do things, because they're important to all of us.
Earlier this month, at a forum on Brexit at UWI Barbados, Prime Minister Gonzalez blamed LIAT's inefficiencies on management's unwillingness to move its base from Antigua and Barbuda to Barbados. Shareholder governments had decided on that, proposing that Barbados be the main fleet base for LIAT aircraft, while 2 planes would remain in Antigua and another 2 relocated to Trinidad. However, Antiguan Prime Minister Gaston Brown has made it clear he is not in favor of that shift. Though Tropical Storm Erika dealt a devastating blow to the country's economy last year, there was still some positive financial growth at the National Development Foundation of Dominica. The institution held its annual general meeting on Thursday, reporting over 1% growth in its revenue for 2015.
For the financial year under review, our total revenues were $2,139,610, which is a 1.5% increase over that of the previous year, 2014. This increase, we must bear in mind, was along the lines that we did have a 5% reduction in expenses over that of the previous period also. So these indicators point in the right direction for us. And we were able to have a little bit of surplus, which was 18% better again than 2014. Our surplus was in excess of $765,000.
Another notable achievement for the company was the number of businesses which received assistance despite the passage of Tropical Storm Erika.
The data for the year 2015 suggests that a total of 343 businesses received funding. I'm talking about 343 businesses. This is a milestone, resulting in a total of 697 jobs created and or sustained. While this was a reduction from the previous year, for obvious reasons, talking about Erika, it also points to the fact that there is room for improvement and we are prepared to work with all stakeholders.
Another area of growth for NDFD in the past financial year was in its asset base.
Our financial position as of December 31, 2015 indicates that our total assets were at $16 million with liabilities of approximately $13.8 million. Our asset base actually grew by 1.4 million, or 10% over that of the previous year. Our liabilities showed a slight an increase as well of $690,000. So our net effect was just about $600,000. We see that we have grown over the last 3 years, 2013, 14, and 15. We have made some growth in our asset base.
You're watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, a gift for local students from their French neighbors. Stay with us. Thanks for staying tuned. Students of Martinique have donated €20,000 worth of school supplies to Dominica students to assist following Tropical Storm Erika. The supplies were handed over to the Ministry of Education on Friday by President of the Parents Union of Martinique.
What we want to do is work in Martinique for a better instruction in Martinique. But we think that Education have to, comment on dit, introduire l'environnement. We can. Point en créole? On peut parler en créole? Oui. Tu peux parler créole, on peut parler créole. Nous ne pouvons pas faire une éducation martinique si nous ne pouvons pas parler de l'environnement martinique, de la Caraïbe. Nous ne pouvons pas prendre l'instruction qui est sortie en France pour nous appliquer une Martinique comme ça. C'est pour ça que nous créons l'UPEM ni 25 l'année.
We want to thank you here today for the presentation of school supplies to our children as you help us to work in the continued development of our children. As you return, we want you to thank your association and express our profound gratitude and appreciation for the supplies here today.
In other news, the Environmental Health Department expects to submit a report to the Chief Personnel Officer after it is done with its investigations at the General Post Office building.
For now, there's no confirmation on claims by post office staff that there are asbestos fibers in certain materials in the building. Because of the durable nature of asbestos and its resistance to heat, it was used in the manufacturing of building products like roofing shingles, floor tiles, ceiling materials, and cement compounds. On July 12, 1989, the United States Environmental Protection Agency issued a final ruling banning most asbestos-containing products because exposure to it is scientifically linked to lung and respiratory health conditions. This includes shortness of breath and persistent cough and pain or tightening in the chest. A senior environmental health officer told Channel 5 News he could not disclose any information to the press about their intervention so far in the absence of the acting chief officer who has been out of office due to sickness. What he could say is that his department is investigating the conditions at the building based on a request by the Establishment Personnel and Training Department. He says the Environmental Health Department will only publicize its findings if the Chief Personnel Officer authorizes them to do so. Staff said during their strike on Wednesday, poor working conditions escalated because of a delayed renovation project at the building, which has been going on now for 3 years.
And shareholder governments of Liat will meet soon to discuss the plan as the airline reorganizes its operations. In the meantime, the current head of the cash-strapped Liat is making a case for all Caribbean governments to invest in the company. She said a shareholders meeting is expected to likely take place in October.
What we have said to all the territories is that given the nature of Liat, what should really be happening is that all the territories should be contributing, but not all of them do. If all the territories contribute, then we would be able to get additional assets and better provide additional flights and services. All the routes that we maintain are profitable routes. Profitable routes don't necessarily coincide with the shareholders who are contributing. So for example, our routes into and out of St. Lucia are quite profitable. We have maintained those routes, but the St. Lucian government isn't contributing in any significant way. They have minimal shares. All the territories do have minimal shares in Liat.
Liat's restructuring process will see it making investments in technology, conducting customer service trainings, and launching a new website. The Liat CEO would like to see an increase in its fleet from 9 to 12 aircraft. However, she said Liat just doesn't have the finances.
If we have flights, for example, that are not profitable for us and we say, well, look, we're not able to provide you with this service during the day, but you want to have it during the day for connectivity, then we are quite prepared to look at that if the country is willing to contribute. It would be difficult to say at this point what that level of contribution should be. Again, this is an ongoing dialogue. The shareholders have discussions with all the territories, and we hope that at some point in time that they will come on board.
Kenny Williams is next with your sports highlights.
First up, 5 boys and 2 girls will benefit from the Digicel NBA experience at the end of a 3-day training basketball program here. This according to Bob Makinen, head coach of Dallas Mavericks.
We're really breaking it down to the fundamentals, and it's fundamentals that we teach on the pro level all the way down. You know, ball handling, being able to handle the ball with both hands, being able to shoot a right-hand, left-handed layup the same. You know, if you can do those 2 things, handle the ball with both hands and shoot a right-hand, left-hand layup to a point where someone doesn't know what is your dominant hand until you shoot a jump shot or free throw, then you can be a good player.
Some of the kids that have been exposed to some American basketball, they've had the opportunity to get a scholarship for high school or junior college in the state. So that's just there's just a great opportunity for the kids to get exposure to the best that's out there, which is basketball in the United States. So we've had I think close to 7 kids that were offered scholarship in the state, so it's always good.
Makinen says basketball coaches on island will also benefit from the Jump Start program.
And we're going to do a coaches clinic along with this camp. And we'd like anybody on the island who is interested in coaching youth basketball to come out. Whether they're a coach right now or a parent right now or someone that just wants to know more about how to coach our game. We'd love to have them.
The program is in its 2nd year and is contracted for 5 years. In its inception, it included 7 countries and only focused on boys. That number has now moved to 9, with Dominica and Grenada being added this year, including girls. In cricket, a very competitive match, but not a win for the Windies as they went down to Pakistan by 9 wickets in a T20 match on Friday. West Indies batted first and scored 115 all out. Dwayne Bravo made 55 and Jerome Taylor 21. Imad Wasim went through the Windies batting lineup, taking 5 for 14 in 13 overs. Set 116 to win, Pakistan scored 116 for 1. Babar Azam scored 55 not out. Khalid Latif 34 out. Babar Azam scored 55 not out. Khalid Latif 34 not out and S. Khan 22. The Windies will be looking to recover from that defeat when they play Pakistan again on Saturday. On to football, where the Rivier Cyric League will come to an end with an epic battle between the Grand Foy Rockets and the DCP team. Both teams have been showing promise during the league, but only one will cup the 2016 award. Starting time is 3:30 p.m. Grand Foy Young Boys was last year's champion. Meantime, 2 matches are on in the DFA Flow Premier League on this weekend. On Saturday, it will be a clash between Petro-Caribbean Point Michelle and Middleham United, while on Sunday, it will be Exodus Football Club versus RIC Kensborough. Both games are carded for 4 p.m. at Dublin. On to tennis, the Big Edge Financial Express Youth Tennis Tournament kicks off with matches in various age categories at the Dominica Grammar School on Saturday. The event will run from September 24 to October 1.
I'm really looking forward to a kin contest, good competition, because we had a tournament earlier this year, and with the Big Edge sponsored tournament, Big Edge brings a new incentive, a new drive, a new motivation, because the children are looking forward because their prizes are there already. They know their prizes are there. The same day the tournament is.
Carter says despite having more boys than girls in the tournament, he is still optimistic about its success.
Well, we have the under 18 boys and girls. We have limited girls, but I'm hoping that they will turn out and do a showing that we can push, because we've got to move with the both genders. There's the under 14 boys, under 12 boys, and then we have beginners where we use the red ball for introduction to new players. Give them an opportunity to showcase their skill, if any.
He says the current facility on High Street has good potential for developing the sport.
For us to really get that, you can see we are at the Dominica Club. It's a nice area. And you can see if we could, instead of going to the Dominica Grammar School grounds where we have volleyball, netball, and basketball competing, it would be so nice to have had our nice 3 courts here, well lighted. Then we would be able to invite teams from St. Lucia, Matnik, Guadeloupe to come to Dominica. I always believe that here we can have a sudden impact by developing right here. all the schools around, you have all the hotels around. I'm looking at a big picture of sports tourism, where you have the ships coming in, you have the hotels around. Fort Young doesn't have a facility, Garowe doesn't have a facility, Evergreen, Anchorage. So I saying that we would use that facility between 8 to 4 for the children, and then from 4 you have it as a business venture where you have people paying their $10 and their $15 per hour.
Next up, track athletes will get a chance to assess their skill level ahead of the upcoming Independent Secondary School meet thanks to a road race on Sunday. This is according to Pioneers Athletics Club President Cedric Harris.
We want to use this event to bring out the best of our youth. So also use as a guideline for some of the athletes and / coaches who are preparing their teams for the independence competition coming up. So the athletes, the coaches can actually see now where the athletes are with about 2 weeks left to go and see where they can get them on their one.
The event will be judged by the under 11, 13, 15, 18 and 20 boys and girls categories. Finally, who will become the 2016 Giant Malt Rounders champion? Well, that will be decided soon as the race to the finish line draws nearer, when the round of 16 will be completed on Sunday. At 10, KFC Mafia battlers will take on Maxwell Royal challengers at Portersville, while Posse Rockstars will play host to Stowe & Co hard hitters at 1 p.m. Following Sunday's games, the league will enter the quarter-final stage. That's all the sporting highlights for now. I am Kenny Williams. Do have yourself an awesome weekend.
And the weather report is next.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am Janet Macpherson and I'll be your presenter this evening. Weak unstable conditions was the dominant feature today, resulting in mixed clouds across the islands. Partly cloudy to cloudy skies were observed across Dominica this afternoon. Radar imagery indicated a few scattered showers across the island chain. The weather for tonight: fair to occasionally cloudy with a few brief showers. Tomorrow, fair to partly cloudy at first with a temporary increase in cloudiness and showers by afternoon. Seas tomorrow are expected to be slight to moderate, waves peaking up to 5 feet. Looking ahead for the next 3 days, weak unstable conditions will continue to result in fair to partly cloudy skies at first, with a temporary increase in cloudiness and showers by afternoon. Throughout the Caribbean tomorrow, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a few scattered showers are expected. On the international cities forecast, partly cloudy skies in New York, London and Beijing, thunderstorm activity in Miami and Caracas. The sun will rise tomorrow at 5:54 a.m. and set at 6 p.m. For up-to-date weather information, please call our weather hotline at 447-5555 or visit our website at weather.gov.dm. Thank you for viewing and have a good weekend.
A reminder of the headlines. Layou Beachfront earmarked for development as an area of potential economic growth. Prime Minister Skerrit insists LIAT service must improve in spite of its financial challenges. And a top tourism executive here says the impact of Tropical Storm Erika continues to affect visitor arrivals. And remember, the official opening ceremony of this year's Independence celebrations takes place at Layou on Saturday afternoon. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Idona Jean-Baptiste. To all our viewers around the world, thanks for watching. Have a good weekend.